In 7 cities across the Commonwealth today, from Hazleton to Erie, the Senate Democratic Caucus is hosting events just like this one with one simple purpose in mind, and that's to listen to the people who have been hit hardest by the governor's misguided budget priorities and to ensure that your voice will not be shut out of this year's budget negotiations. Over the past 3 years, the governor's funding cuts to schools, health care, and human services have cost thousands of Pennsylvanians their jobs, and they've hurt working families. Pennsylvania has gone from the top 5 in job creation in this country to 5 years ago to nearly dead last in this last round of economic numbers. We ranked 47th in job growth, and we used to be in the top 5. Far too many families, far too many northeastern Pennsylvania families are struggling and are out of work. Pennsylvania families and Pennsylvania senior citizens are being brushed aside by an administration in Harrisburg that is concerned more about an ideological agenda than an agenda for a better Pennsylvania. Budget priorities should be about investing in opportunity and giving every Pennsylvanian who goes to work a fair shot at providing a good quality of life for their family. A good budget starts with investing in job growth, adequately funding our schools, and expanding health care options. And a good budget should also start by protecting the services our seniors need most. Prescription drug coverage through the PACE program, property tax relief through the property tax and rent rebate program, and the services provided by our great network of senior centers like the one here in Hazleton that provide essential services and contribute to a better quality of life for Pennsylvania seniors. A quality of life our seniors have earned over decades of work and commitment to this great Commonwealth. The Pennsylvania lottery, your lottery, and I underscore your lottery, generates over $46 million in direct funding for senior programs just in Luzerne and Carbon County alone. That helps out thousands of northeastern Pennsylvania seniors throughout northeastern Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania lottery also helps the regional economy, pumping in over $150 million annually into the economies of Luzerne and Carbon County. The preservation of the Pennsylvania lottery should not be taken lightly. It's too important to our seniors, and it's too important to the regional economy of northeastern Pennsylvania. Over the last 3 state budgets, we have seen bad fiscal decisions lead to bad policies. Policies that have left our seniors paying more in taxes and getting fewer services in return. A clear example of the partisan ideology that has trumped good common sense is the governor's failed attempt to privatize the lottery and outsource Pennsylvania jobs. The Pennsylvania lottery consistently ranks as one of the best lotteries in the nation, setting sale and profit records. For the last 4 years, they've set records. In the last 2 years, they've reached over $1 billion in profit. And where does that profit go? That $1 billion goes directly into the senior services that we care about. The PACE program, the property tax and rent rebate program, senior services, long-term living, and the shared ride program. $1 billion investment in Pennsylvania seniors, and I think that's a darn good investment to make. So the questions that have to be in your minds today is, why would the governor want to dismantle the Pennsylvania lottery? Why would you want to outsource 270 good Pennsylvania jobs when there are already too many on the unemployment line? Why would you want to jeopardize funding for vital senior programs? Do you think, let me ask you the question, do you think it's a good idea to sell the Pennsylvania lottery? Do you think that's a good idea? I can see by your faces you think it's a bad idea. And you're right, it's a bad idea, and I'm sad to tell you that the governor's already wasted $4.6 million of your tax money in pursuing the privatization and the outsourcing of the Pennsylvania lottery. And equally important to the $4.6 million in your tax money that's been wasted, we've wasted 3 years that we could have been working together in a bipartisan way to expand the Pennsylvania lottery. We recognize the trends, the demographic trends are changing, that there are going to be more older Pennsylvanians over the next decade and the next 2 decades. So the Pennsylvania lottery, which is a great lottery, has to get even better. Unfortunately, $4.6 million in 3 years have been wasted on an idea of outsourcing and selling the Pennsylvania lottery. One solution that we can look to, just to give you one example of what bipartisan efforts should be working on in Harrisburg today to expand the Pennsylvania lottery, just to give you one idea that won't cost the taxpayers a dime. It just needs people working together. And it doesn't require a risky privatization scheme. And that would be to expand sales in our big box retail chains like Walmart and Target. If you've ever noticed shopping in Walmart and Target, and maybe you've gone there to their prescription drug counter and used the PACE or PaceNet card, but you'll notice something. They don't sell Pennsylvania lottery products. There are over 150 Walmart and Target stores across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. If we could expand the distribution of lottery products just in those two big box retail chains, we could add $100 million in new revenue to the Pennsylvania lottery. These are the kind of ideas, the real partnerships that we should be working on to expand and improve the Pennsylvania lottery, rather than getting stuck in what I call partisan neutral. And what's partisan neutral? That's when ideology trumps good common sense. Unfortunately, the privatization plan advanced by the governor was simply stuck in partisan neutral. That was about ideology. That wasn't about the numbers. That wasn't about the health and sustainability of the Pennsylvania lottery. That was about advancing a national ideological agenda about privatization. So when we hear the governor on Tuesday, who will come before both the House and the Senate to lay out his budget priorities, Pennsylvania will be listening. But the voice that matters to me most really is not the governor's voice on the budget matters, and quite frankly, it's not my voice that matters the most on budget matters. It's your voice. And that's why I'm here in Greater Hazleton today. That's why I'm here at the Hazleton Senior Center, to hear your voice. Because the cuts and the programs that the governor is going to talk about on Tuesday are going to impact your life in a real way. And I wanted to talk to you today. I wanted to hear your concerns so that I can take your voice and share it with the governor and share it with my House and Senate colleagues and let them know that the Pennsylvania lottery is the people's lottery. It's your lottery. And the programs that the funding in the Pennsylvania lottery provide for make a real difference in your life. Helping pay your property tax bill, helping make sure your prescription drug costs are covered, providing you great opportunities to socialize with your friends and neighbors in facilities like the Hazleton Senior Center. They're an important part of the quality of life that you have earned. And the governor and Harrisburg and the Senate and the House need to hear your voice. And that's why I'm here today, to listen, to talk with each of you one-on-one, to share with you my experience in Harrisburg, but most importantly, to take your voice and let it be heard in this year's budget debate.